Yo, what's good? We have to talk about this poll question that I put up yesterday because it was kind of interesting. Over 1,000 people voted in this poll, so we got to talk about it. I'm Marcus, you're the channel Debt Free Dad. Finances, attorney reactions, all of that good stuff, giving y'all updates on where we are in our financial freedom, debt free journey, and the whole nine. Hey, disclaimer: licensed attorney, not your attorney, not legal or financial advice. I gotta say that in majority of my videos to keep the folks at the Bar Association off of brothers, you know what. Now, the question that I posed yesterday, which was interesting, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it up on the screen so we can take a look. The question is, if you were offered $1 million after taxes, that means Uncle Sam and all them, they already got their ends, to retire today, would you take it? But it's full-blown retirement. You can't work part-time at the post office. You can't be a crossing guard. You can't be a politician who gets a part-time salary. No side hustles. You can't have your Etsy shop. So this question was interesting because if we look at the poll on the screen, 64% of the people, 1.1 thousand people voted. 64% said, yo, give me the money right now and I'm gonna be good. And 36% of the people were like, nah, I'm gonna pass. And so some of the comments were good. I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of the comments, but I gotta kind of throw up a little bit of a caveat. Now, you know, when I put these polls up, they're just polls. I just give a general question. I can't delve into these long ass fact patterns like, but you have $4,000 in your retirement fund, and you also have a trust that, like, no, it'll get too complicated. So I try to keep it simple. So for purposes of this video, we're going to say complete retirement, you can't work. Now, whatever you do with the $1 million is completely up to you. You can invest that $1 million in property. You can put that $1 million in the stock market. You could put that $1 million in crypto. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of shocked that it was so high in the 60s%. 60s%. I'm kind of shocked it was so high that it was in the mid 60% range, just because most of the people who commented were like, nah, I wouldn't do it. So, but y'all already know. If y'all was in the comments, y'all already know. I would have to respectfully decline, but I did think about it. I actually put some thought into would I do it or not. I had to respectfully decline. So, the first question is, or the first thing we're going to talk about is, if it's a married couple, okay, and this same fact pattern applies, but only one person has to give up their income. And I saw a few comments that really alluded to it, but if only one person has to give up their income, I mean, let's just think about it. If only one person got to give up their income, hey, go ahead, take it. Go ahead, get rid of it. I think that is a smart move. Whoever makes the most income, essentially needs to, whoever makes the most income needs to, continue to work. And the person who makes the least amount of income, take the $1 million, don't work again, and y'all can figure it out. I think that's the common sense answer in that scenario. But this question, it isn't really as easy as a lot of people think it is. Because I think for me, the first thing that's important is age. And, hey, as you can see, I got gray hairs, I got teenagers. So age is an important question, because if it were 10 years from now, if I were like 53 or something like that, not that I'm, if I was like in my mid 50s, is it unequivocal that I would say yes. That would give me well over a decade to continue to do what I'm doing, stack up, get my house mortgage payment down as low as I can. So if I was like 53, I would probably say yes to this question, because I would be in a much different financial position. I'd have continued to invest. The market would have been able to grow over the past 10, 15, 17, whatever years. So I think in that situation, I definitely would have just, took it if I was older. But the fact that I'm not in my 50s, like if I'm 26 or 20, 30, no, 40, no, I'm probably not going to take it. Now, why wouldn't you take it if you were in your 40s? The other thing we got to think about is what is your earning potential? Like, what is it that you actually do for a living? That's something that's a factor. If you make a $40,000 income for your household and it's just you and you take this deal, you can get $40,000 a year just off the interest alone, never touch the $1 million principal, and you would actually live the same. So this next thing you got to look at your age. Next thing you got to look at is your income. But if you're a doctor, I'm an attorney. If you're an engineer, if you're a mechanic who has his own shop, if you're an entrepreneur who's making well into the six figures, it's probably not economically or mathematically the thing to do because your earning potential is so high. Just think about it. If you make $150,000 a year, it's probably not going to be worth your while if you don't got the if you're young, relatively young, you still got years where you can put money in the market and you make 150K, you might not want to consider it. The third thing is, so we got age as a factor, we got your income and your earning potential as a factor. The next thing you got to consider is most people make the most money in their career between the ages of 45 to 55. From 45 to 55, chances are you're going to make the most money in your profession that you're ever going to make. That's where most people make the most money. And think about it, it makes sense. By the time you're 45, you're so seasoned, you got so much experience, you can probably demand that high ass salary. Going through your 40s into your 50s, 55. At 55, at 55, you might be a little set in your ways and be like, these damn millennials, you may be one of them grumpy ass 55-year olds. But that is an important factor that we have to consider. You're missing a 10-year window where you're going to make the most money in your profession that you'll make during your entire career. That's why, like I said, if I was 53, I probably would say yes, because I had a nice 7-year run where I was making that maximum salary as an attorney. That's just, the second thing. I think the third thing is where you are currently, or the fourth thing, I'm missing count. The fourth thing is where you are currently. If you're starting from zero to accept this deal, it decreases the likelihood that you're going to take it. But if when this deal is offered, if you don't have any debt, no student loans, you got a nice modest mortgage that you can afford, and you sitting on $200,000, $300,000 and a retirement account and $20,000 and a brokerage account, hey, that's another factor that you would have to consider. What else you would have to consider? Me, I'm literally, and everybody who watched this channel, y'all know, if y'all go look at all my budget breakdowns and when I'm talking about investments and all of my stuff, the vast majority of my investments are in retirement funds, 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs, those type of vehicles. You know what that means? If I took that money, I took $1 million to retire right now, all that money in those retirement accounts, I can't touch that money. If I pull that money out, they're going to tax my ass. I'm going to get hit with a 10% penalty. It'll be like a 50% loss. If you take out $50,000 before you're the age where you qualify to take it out, you might as well give up. You might as well give up like 20,000 of that 50,000 because you're going to get taxed on it. You're going to get a 10% penalty. It's just not worth it. That's something else that you would have to factor in. That's something else that you would have to consider. Some of the comments I thought were interesting, though. Some people said, like this comment right here. Okay, Young Gouda. It says, I'm in my 30s right now, so $1 million to retire wouldn't make a ton of sense. Maybe if I was in my 40s or 50s. Damn, dog. I'm in my 40s and I'm like, nah, I'm not taking it. You trying to make a brother feel old. But I thought that was a good point. This was actually a dope comment too, right here. Go Birds. It said, hell yes, I retire and my wife can still work. Now you look at the comments, I was like, no cap. But when he went and explained it, his wife has a career that has a much higher earning trajectory, is what I'm assuming from this comments. It says, he says, my wife runs a forensic lab already. Come on, let's just keep it a buck. So I think whoever in that scenario, if you're a married couple, husband and wife, partner, whatever the hell your situation is, I think it's an absolute yes at that point. I think it's an absolute yes where the higher earner continues to work and the person who doesn't make as much, hey, you go ahead, bow out, cash out, do your thing. We're gonna flip this 100, we're gonna flip this 1 mil and make it work. So I mean, some people was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and I'm gonna move to Mexico because that's gonna be like 4 million pesos. Like it was getting real wild in the comments, but it's something that we really have to think about because let's just think it. What's your quality of life that you want at retirement? Y'all heard me say all the time, people who on the fire movement, financial independence, retire early, and they retire early to live out of a mobile home or live in some rural ass area. That's not your boy. Your boy not doing that. I'm not retiring to live in a mobile home, even though that's dope. Hey, if that's you, do you, but I'm not doing it. I'm not retiring to move to some place where the closest store is 55 miles away, 15 miles away. I'm just not doing it. It's just not what I'm a city guy. I've been in the city forever. It's just not something I'm going to do. But you got to look at how do you want to live. Let's just think about this, and we're going to use the 4% rule. What is the 4% rule? The 4% rule, it's basically an equation that says whatever you have invested for retirement, you generally can take 4% of that total amount out to use as your income in retirement without ever touching the principal. So under that logic, $1 million is in an investment account growing on average 8 to 10% a year. Every year we make a withdrawal of $40,000. Is $40,000 enough for you to live how you want to live in retirement and do what you want to do? Now, like I said, if it's a couple, hey, if I told my wife to cash out, she took that. If she got 40K a year coming in along with my salary, hey, we can make that work because I'm still sitting on that 1 million right there. But I thought it was just an interesting topic. It got a lot of interesting feedback. I appreciate everybody who commented on that video, who voted in the poll. And I'm going to do more videos like this where I talk about poll questions that I put up that got good ass feedback because it's a point of discussion. And as always, we could get some financial gems from it. But I will tell you now, the caveat I gave, like I said in the beginning, if you get this $1 million, you can invest it. You can buy real estate. You can invest in crypto. You just can't do a structured, I got a part-time job was kind of what I was thinking along the lines when I wrote this question up. But a lot of people said, yo, I'll cop real estate. And one comment, I'm going to see if I find it, said, oh, you know how much monthly cash flow you can have? Do you know how much monthly cash flow you can have with $500,000 in investment property? Let me see if I can find that comment. It's in here somewhere. In any event, I don't feel like going all through it. But somebody said, you know what you could do with $500,000 in investment property? And that kind of got me thinking because I was like, hey, DFD, if you took this deal or your wife took this deal, she cashed out, she got the $1 million, what would you do? I'm going to keep it a buck. If I'm still working, or even if I was single, if it were 15 years down the road and I was 55 and I took this deal, you know what I would do at the age of 55? For me, and y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, the most important thing would be creating cash flow. So I would take 100,000 of that 1 million and put it in the bank. Because if I'm 55, I already got an emergency fund. I already been investing. I should have my debt low. I mean, hell, I just got a mortgage and a student loan I'm wrapping up now. So my debt to income ratio should be low. So I would put 100,000 in the bank just in case mess around money. And with the other 900,000, I would buy 3 or 4 investment properties. So that creates cash flow for me. Now you can do it. You can put the $1 million in an investment account and just pull out 40,000 a year. But for me, I would rather have 3 or 4 properties that are completely paid off. I mean, completely paid off. So when that rent come in, that's 100% profit. That's 100% profit. You can generate an average rent of $1,000, $1,500. It's all going to depend where you live, but it also depends where you cop the property at. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up on the screen because $500,000 is not really $500,000 is not really that much in investment properties, depending on where you at. Let's take a look at this chart. As soon as I got the chart up, they got some product survey that's going on. But I wanted to pull this up so we can look at, median rent prices. So you see what the median rent prices are, but you can see the median home prices in some of these places. So if you stay in a high ass, expensive ass area, $500,000. I mean, like, okay, you can get some deals. You can find some properties that are foreclosed, but now you're cutting into that 1 million. You got to do repairs. You got to get contractors, and getting contractors to repair property is a pain in the ass. Trust me, is a pain in the you know what. So is it worth it to go the rental route? Me, y'all know, if y'all been a fan of the channel, if y'all been subscribed for a while, all of my rental properties, I'm in an expensive ass area. I get all my rental properties down south because the properties are just cheaper. I could get more bang for my buck. That's just kind of how I tend to do it. And of course, look at this: California, $800,000; Hawaii, $700,000; Washington State, $668,000. And I thought, man, y'all ain't giving no love to the District of Columbia. Where are they at on this list? Trust me, I found the list for 2023, and the issue wasn't sweet. Number two, $500,000 ain't gonna buy you ish in DC. Like, you could get something, but it may be some work, or it could be hard to rent out because it may be like in the middle of the track with the goon squad standing outside of the corner. So DC is number 2 on that list, in front of California. So it gets kind of crazy. I thought it was a good topic. Yo, I appreciate everybody who voted, everybody who left a comment. Like I said, it was all dope. It was all a good discussion. Hey, if y'all in that 60-something% who took it, because most of the people who commented was like, let me know your rationale or logic. Like, really break it down in the comments. Like, okay, if I got it, I would take it because I'm this age. I would, and what would I do with it? Would you invest it and pull out the 4% a year, $40,000, and is that good for you? $40,000 in 15 years is going to be like $40,000 in 15 years is going to be like $27,000. So you got to think about inflation. There's a lot to think about. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, check the video out on the screen. There's going to be more content related to finances and attorney reactions.